Hello, everyone, and welcome to Creative Cosmos, a podcast where we talk about art, fandoms, and beyond. I'm Seline Abanto, a character designer and illustrator who has worked for graphic novels and animation. And today we have a brand new guest. She is a Filipino illustrator with a passion for fashion who recently earned her bachelor's degree in psychology from UP Diliman. She is the artist behind SummerSnowQueen, where she shares her art and brings her clients' ideas to life as a freelance character designer. When she's not drawing, she spends her free time playing games, watching movies, and brushing doll hair. Please welcome Jewel, aka Summer Snow Queen.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. This podcast has been on a hiatus for a while, and it's really nice to have you as my first guest after the hiatus.
Yeah, I was so surprised that you asked me, and I don't even know what to talk about here, but I'm going to do my best.
The reason why I wanted to bring you on was when I was first drafting out this podcast, I had about like 10 people that I wanted to reach out to. And then, so the first people were obviously Jillian Galang and my Owl House mutuals. And then I had you on the list. And then I was like, I wonder what I can talk to Jewel about. And then after you graduated, you started to receive these asks on your Curious Cat about like people wanting, like asking for advice from you being like a psychology major, but also an artist. So I was like, okay, that's a nice, interesting angle. To start off, could you tell us a bit about who you are and like what kind of art you like making?
Well, my name is Jewel for starters. Other people call me Julian, but I'm more comfortable with being called Jewel now. And I'm a character designer and illustrator. I mostly work with fashion illustration. I really like designing clothes and big ball gowns that express my personality and my girly girl persona. I'm a psychology graduate, as I've said, as you've mentioned. I took up psychology because I just wanted to learn more about the human psyche, and I have an advocacy for child development coming from a place of somewhat a difficult mental health environment. But apart from that, yeah, I draw girls that are pretty, and I also try working with clients and to bring their ideas to life, because I also open commissions on character design, and it's just heartwarming to see lots of people coming over to me and wanting their character to be drawn by me, to be given like a visual look by me.
How long have you been doing commissions?
I started doing commissions around early the pandemic, so that's 2020. So it's only been 3 years.
Okay. I guess moving on to our next question. What are your art inspirations?
I suppose my very first art inspiration I would talk about is the movie Frozen. I remember being in high school, like I was 13 years old. I just saw Frozen for the first time, and then I immediately looked up concept art for the movie, and I came across Jin Kim's sketches for Elsa and Anna. And I'm gonna tell you, I made his art style my entire personality for like the rest of like grade 8. uh, I kept on imitating the way he sketched eyes, the way he sketched noses, faces, and hair. I somehow learned how to draw by imitating his work. And then after that, as I immersed myself more into the internet, I think I got my first Twitter account back when I was like 13, just so I can interact with more Frozen content in the world. I came across artists like Panziella, Laia Lopez, and Jane Pica art. I absorbed their art style into mine. I really like drawing flat, lineless colors, flat, lineless shapes, and pastel, pink, muted colors. Right now, I guess one of my biggest inspirations, I suppose, is Brittany Lee. also an artist on Frozen and Frozen 2. I love her paper art. She draws art, and she also makes paper sculptures out of art, and I there's just something really nostalgic and familiar about her art. It's like a paper doll coming back from your childhood, and that's what I actually want to embody in my art. I had people telling me before that my art looks like a paper doll and that I should make paper dolls. And I think that's like the highest level of a compliment that I've ever received, because I do want to make a paper doll. Trust me, I'm working on it. I'm doing my best.
Yo, your art
I'm
style would be so good.
yeah, I,
Yeah.
I, I can see it. I can see it. I've actually made a paper doll before, but it was for a client. It was a commissioned project. Um, but I want to make one of my own with my own designs, with my own costumes. So that's a project for another day. So yeah, those people are whom I think to be are my inspirations.
Yeah, I see all of them in your art style. I see how they've like influenced you. And what you said about Jin Kim, I relate to that because I also did that. Like I tried to copy his the way he drew eyes and the way he drew
Yeah,
hair.
how I draw eyes, that's still Jin Kim's style, honestly. I
Hmm.
just mixed it up a little.
Are you like inspired by like other things besides art, like music?
Apart from, say, animated movies, like the Disney ones,
Hmm.
I suppose I'm also inspired by my childhood, the Barbie dolls that I used to own. Another artist that I admire is Robert Best. He makes fashion sketches for Barbie. He's like the product designer, fashion designer for Barbie. I really love the way he draws figures, the way that he makes sketches. Like they're so simple, but you get the gist of it. Yeah, I guess Barbie was a big inspiration for me because she shaped so much of what I like about fashion, what I like about being a girl. And basically, my art is what I do love about being a girl. I guess Barbie also inspires most of my art because of all the memories that are attached to Barbie, the all the happy memories. Every time I draw Barbie fan art, like if it's from the old movies, like Princess and the Pauper, one of my favorites. It just brings so much joy to me that I could recreate something from my past, and then I could upload it now at the present, and then people can look at my art and get inspired or get happy memories from their own childhood. So it's quite transcendent. Is that the right word?
Yeah, transcendent.
Yeah. I appreciate that my art has that kind of power. Like I feel very lucky that my art can resonate with a lot of people like that.
Hmm. Yeah, it really does. Like, there's something so special also about Barbie and the nostalgia surrounding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, later on in this episode, I want to talk to you about your journey in college and also psychology. But you mentioned Barbie, and I want to talk about like your thoughts, I guess, on the Barbie movie. Did you watch it? Like, how was your experience like?
I watched the Barbie movie like the weekend it came out. I really dragged my mom to see it with me. And I I honestly cried. I couldn't believe that someone would make a movie for women, and it's also by women, and it's also advocating for women's rights. It's amazing that we are in this era where we can openly talk about our struggles of being a woman, our struggles regarding girlhood and womanhood. I'm happy that it's starting to become a norm to talk about our emotions, to talk about our feelings, our thoughts as women, because we've endured centuries long of oppression and silence, being silenced. And when I watched Barbie, it was very eye opening, I guess, even though I already know the type of feminism that Barbie upholds. It's still eye opening in a way that I know Barbie, but other people are finally getting to rediscover Barbie. Because for a long time, Barbie's been diminished into this sexy sex symbol who upholds female beauty standards that are impossible to reach. But it's great that the movie addresses those standards and adds up on it that Barbie still tries to reinvent herself to show to the world that being a woman, no matter what size or what figure you have, is still special and it's still remarkable. And I distinctly remember that during that part in the beginning when she was just there were like plenty of Barbie dolls in their different outfits, different career uniforms. I was already bawling at that time. I don't know why I was already crying. I was like, they're right. Barbie did show us that anything is possible. You can have any career you desire. And
Yes.
it's amazing that a doll could do that. But it's unfortunate that nowadays the doll is diminished into something misogynist and anti feminist. So I'm glad that the movie had a chance to straighten things out about who Barbie is and what Barbie stands for. I watched the movie twice. I cried
Oh
twice.
my
So,
gosh.
no, I really wanted to watch it for a second time because I have two Barbie outfits. so
Hmm.
I wore my Barbie outfits during the premieres, and there I love the movie so much. I have no comment. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah, I love your Barbie outfits. They're
Thank
like
you.
exactly like Margot Robbie's. I've seen like a few memes online about Barbie, and like one of my favorites is like you should watch the entire Barbie cinematic universe to understand
Mm-hmm.
Barbie. You should make like non-Barbie fans watch all of the animated movies first.
Mm,
Just like how Marvel fans make you watch like all of the MCU first to
mm,
understand
yeah.
everything, which I thought was funny.
That's what's amazing about the Barbie cinematic universe. It's Barbie. Barbie is the heroine. Barbie is the star. She saves herself. She saves others. It's not like other media that I watched during my childhood where the woman is usually a damsel in distress. When it comes to Barbie, she's the main character. She literally is the main character, and she is the savior who redeems the forest or like saves the kingdom. And that really implanted such an idea to my younger self that women can stand on their own. Women can save a princess can save the prince, and women can reach their dreams. It's just that the patriarchy hinders us from doing so.
Yeah, the patriarchy, it's not about horses.
One thing that I've learned through my childhood interests like Barbie and Disney is that I am allowed to be unapologetically me. And I think that's what shows through my art the most. I believe when you look at my art, you can really see the passion that I have for my childhood, for my interests. I do not apologize for being girly, for liking pink, for being emotional, for being dramatic. I don't I don't apologize for liking glitter, for liking skirts, for liking high heels. And sometimes being a girly girl is oftentimes seen as like succumbing to the patriarchy or like following the female ideals, which is not feminist sometimes. But I really believe that there is still powerful feminism related to being aware and embracing of your femininity. Yeah, I think my childhood's really inspired me to embrace my femininity. I don't have to be like other girls, but I can also appreciate other girls.
Yeah, I don't know if you've experienced this too, but like when I was younger, people were like, I hate pink. No, pink is
Yeah.
not that. So in
Yeah.
I thought, oh, okay. So I don't like pink either. So I want to be like these
Yeah.
cool girls that don't like pink. I internalized that. And then Barbie came out, the Barbie movie, and then like everyone was like celebrating femininity and all like the girly girl side of things. And
Mm.
then I was like, oh yeah, that it is okay to like all of those things.
Yeah, it doesn't diminish your worth. You're not a pansy if if you like pink. You're not weak if you like pink. There was a time during my high school years when I was like, I don't want to like pink anymore. I'm gonna be a mint green girly, and I bought mint green stuff, and it didn't hit. Okay, it wasn't fun. It wasn't nice. It didn't spark joy. I wish I buy the mint green stuff, but I keep on wishing I bought the pink one instead.
Oh,
Staying true to yourself. That's what Barbie and Disney has taught me, and that's what my art tries to be.
yes, I see that. I really see that in your art. Like you call your, I guess, your online persona like the Pink Parade, or like welcome to the Pink
Yeah.
Parade. I've seen that on your Twitter. So that's really nice. That's a really nice perspective on like how like the way you see things and the way you see like the empowering parts of Barbie and Disney and all these things. So that's really nice to hear your side of that. I want to like ask now about your journey as a psychology student,
Mm,
but who also did art on the side. So you took up your psychology degree at UP Diliman and you recently graduated. Congrats.
thanks.
Did you always want to take up psychology, or did you have like other options?
Oh, okay. This kind of starts back in senior high school, or maybe in high school. When I was in high school, I was in a science high school, so I was taking up special science classes that like inspired me to become more science oriented. Kind of at first I wanted to be like a biotechnologist of a sort, something like that. But like around the fourth year, grade 10, I decided, I want to try doing art. And maybe I should do art for senior high for grades 11 and 12. So I left my science high school and I went to senior high in an arts and design track. And while I did learn a lot from that, those 2 years of senior high school in an arts and design track, I discovered that I didn't want to do art. I don't think I have the courage to pursue art as a career, as a full-time career, because it would be s- it would be like turning my hobby into something that is stressful, something that will become my bread and butter. It will be my source of money. So what will I do now if I'm no longer inspired, if I don't like what I'm drawing? That really worried me, the thought of that, of not having agency and control of what I draw, when I draw, and how I draw. That really scared me. So I decided I was gonna like apply for another program, which is psychology. I ended up because over my senior high school years, I've gained an interest as well in psychology because of my personal development class. We all had that like as a general class before in senior high, and I liked learning about the theories of personality and how people came to be who they are. They're not a product of their thoughts alone, but they're also a product of their environment and their upbringing ever since they were a baby. Like the things that happened to us during our infancy still influences us until today. And that amazed me because I wanted to understand more of like how people came to be, how uh, people with mental illnesses came to how people with mental illnesses gained such illnesses, I guess, or disorders, and how we can help them to cope with their uh, disorders. I most especially wanted to apply this for children and adolescents because I often see a lot of children with autism and ADHD, and especially in the Philippines, wherein having those mental disorders or illnesses, you're immediately branded as a special child. But it's a very broad scope, and there's so much more that we can do for these children if we are able to exactly pinpoint what in their environment is causing such stressors and such discomfort for them. So yeah, going back. So when I was like applying for college, I decided to apply for psychology in UP, Ateneo, UST, and LaSalle. But I also applied for multimedia arts in Benilde, I think. Yeah, I tried. I was also up for a scholarship also. But I made a pact with myself, like if I got into UP, if I passed the UPCAT, I'd take it. Because I feel like if you are being called by Oble, you cannot say no.
Exactly.
It's free tuition. You
Yes.
cannot say no. So yeah, I passed. Obviously, I passed.
Woo.
So there I went. But I remember the day that I passed. I learned that I passed. It was a little bittersweet for me because of course, yes, I'm happy, free tuition. And then I was also sad because like, oh, so this is a sign that I'm going to let go of my art career dreams, or that I'm not going to be able to reach as far as I could in art because I won't be studying it and I won't be gaining the connections from university. So if you had gone to an art program, but I just decided that okay, psychology is going to be my day job, and um, art's gonna be my passion project. I think I can still learn art on my own. That's what I said to myself to console myself with the thought that my initial plans weren't gonna come true. So, well, come the pandemic, I got a lot of time to work on myself because we had online classes. So after online classes, I'd spend my time drawing instead. And it turns out I can improve on my own, even though I don't have teachers to help me with art per se. Like, there's so much information, there's a wealth of tutorials and how to's on the internet. And there's so much inspiration that you can gain from the internet that I didn't feel like I lacked because I don't have an art degree. I think I can still um, keep up, I can still improve at my own pace even though I don't have an art degree. So that is what I am doing. But now that I'm at the end of my college journey, now I really see that I really want to make psychology as a career work as well, because I'm actually planning to like merge my two interests together. Like, I want to be a psychologist who employs art therapy. Such fun. Sounds great. In theory, it sounds great, but honestly, I don't know how I'm going to do that. But I'll get there. I'll get there, baby steps. But yeah, for now, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm happy with where my art is right now, with what my art career is, quote unquote, right now. Is that what were you asking?
Yes, yes. Oh, it was so nice hearing like all the little bits of your journey and like how you got to where you are. And it's nice that you have like these two interests, and you have the option to focus on one and then have the other one on the side, or merge them together. And I know a lot of people in the art industry that didn't take up art in college. Like they took up something wildly different. Like some people took up like engineering or some STEM courses, and they still made it. And it was all because of their personal drive
Mm-hmm.
and like their own initiative to learn more.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that would come true for me as well.
Back to like college life, how did you
Mm.
balance college and also doing art? Like did you have like a schedule, or did you just like go with the flow? How did you do it?
I honestly didn't think it was that hard considering most of my college life was lived during the pandemic. Online classes left me with not much to do for the entire week. For example, I'd have a class on one day, just like an hour and 30 minutes, and then I'd be free the rest of the day because the rest of my classes are asynchronous or they're like offline. So that left me with a lot of time, really, a lot of time to do my commissions, to do personal art, to do random sketches. I mean, before the pandemic and like a little after, when after the pandemic ish, when things started clearing up and we were allowed to go to face physical classes again, what helped me, I guess, was I don't know if I make a schedule because I don't write it down. I just tell myself what I need to do and then I write down the deadline and then I do it like the day before the deadline and then it just works. Oh, it works for me. Hello, Celine's listeners, please do not procrastinate, but it works for me, so I can't say anything about it. But yeah, that's what's so difficult about my situation is that I hate procrastinating, but somehow I always end up doing it because my best output is always a product of cramming. So my brain is like, okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So therefore, I'm always like crunching at 11:59
Oh my gosh.
trying to pass something on that deadline. I don't know how I could talk about how I balance school and art because honestly it was very light for me, I guess. I don't have any other responsibilities aside from school and art. So I guess that privilege is also something that I recognize to be part of the reasons why I succeeded. As I live away from home during my college years, I lived in like a condo in Quezon City. There wasn't much chores for me to do. I cleaned up my bed, I washed my dishes. That's pretty much it. There's really not much to do when I was there. So I recognize that very open time schedule, I guess, to be one of the reasons why it was easy for me to balance things. And I sleep late. I sleep very late. You might be able to see me on Twitter still tweeting something at like 3
Oh
a.m. and
no.
that's because I'm still working on a com or something. I'm still drawing because most of the time I find that whenever I start drawing and I get the mojo to draw, I try to finish the drawing as much as possible because if I leave it as a whip is forever what it will be. I don't know. I don't know how I did it. Sometimes I'm like so amazed at myself na I achieved so much over the past say 4 years of my college life and over the past 4 to 5 years that I've been running my SummerSnowQueen account. I've reached so much, but like I wonder how I did it with just only 24 hours in a day and still time to sleep and
And brush dolls
brush
hair.
doll hair. Yeah.
Brush doll hair.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that later.
Okay,
Like
okay.
your interest in like doll collecting. I want to also ask like, what is something that you wish you knew about college,
Uh,
or about like psychology as a major, or what's something you wish you knew about the whole experience?
well, for college, I wish I knew that probably joining an org wouldn't kill me because I actually don't have an org. I don't have an org. I didn't apply for an org when I was in college. I didn't join any because I thought that I had so much on my plate already. I go to Comic every other month or so. So I decided that I'm not gonna get an org. I'm not gonna apply for it. But looking back now, I can see that, oh, I actually have so much time. Maybe that time could have been spent on doing org works or developing connections and friendships with my org mates, because I have classmates who are in orgs and they talk about how fun it is to be in their org, and it's like a clique of their own. And I yearn for that type of friendship during college. My only friends were like my block mates, my seat mates in class, but I don't really belong to a large friend group.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wish I had been more. I wish I had been braver, or I had been brave enough to join an org, because I don't think it would have affected my studies that much. Yeah, I fear my studies. I fear extracurricular activities affecting my studies because I wanted to graduate summa cum laude. So yeah. So I let go of all of those so I can prioritize on getting unos and on getting art clout there.
Yeah, I did join an org when I was in college. Yeah, it was really cool. Like, so I went to Benild and I studied
Mm-hmm.
multimedia arts, and it's so funny that you mentioned that you were almost gonna go to Benild also.
Yeah.
So we could have been schoolmates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's so many people I know from Art PH that like went to Benilde, and like, oh, we all could have been besties.
yeah. Well, it's interesting that you said like, so you did graduate summa cum laude, which is
Yeah,
really
I
cool. Summa
did.
Snow Queen.
Yes, yes. Summa Snow Queen, yes.
Yeah,
I wanted to graduate summa cum laude because of the cloud.
of the cloud.
I I did it for the clout so I can post Summa Snow Queen. That's it. That's my number one motive.
So you didn't join an org, but you still became like a summa cum laude. And I there's this saying that my cousin said this one time
Mm-hmm.
about like her significant other. She said that if I did anything differently, I might have not met you. So I kind of
Mm-hmm.
applied that to my life also. Like if I did anything differently, I might not have been where I am now. So you never know. Like maybe if you did join an org, that could have
Mm-hmm.
affected your studies, or it could have not affected your studies. But yeah, it's interesting how like our choices affect everything in the long run.
Yeah. That's something that we study in psych actually. It's called counterfactual thinking.
What's that?
Counterfactual thinking is basically your mind asking what if. It happens a lot to most of us because we try to think about what our lives would be if we had made choices differently. And mm, sometimes I dwell on that. I'm quite of a worrywart. I often worry about if I'm doing things well, if I said something wrong, if I could have done it a different way, if I could have done it better, coming from a perfectionist mind. Um, and yeah, sometimes it brings me down, but yeah, I'll try to employ that same mindset that I am where I am because of my choices. If I had made a different choice, I probably would not be where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's something good to think about. Oh, I forgot. I was also gonna mention something about psychology, which I wish I knew before I took the program. I think I kind of knew, but like I didn't know the extent of how difficult it would be. Because now that I'm a graduate, I'm trying to look for jobs. But it's so difficult to look for a job that's related to clinical psychology. Most of the jobs that I see are related to human relations, HR,
HR.
so
Mm.
industrial organizational psychology. It's corporate work. And I don't want to go down that path. I really want to go down a clinical psychology path because well, I guess I want to treat people, I want to help people with such disorders and stressors in their life. And because I want to take a clinical psychology program for my master's degree. But it's quite difficult to look for a job right now because there are hardly any clinical psychology openings. I actually have an interview next week, so I hope it goes well. I hope I
Yeah.
get employed. Unemployment era over.
Are you thinking of like becoming a psychometrician? Psychometrician?
I'm thinking about getting my license for it, but I don't know if I want to practice it because that's not exactly what I want to be. Like psychometricians, they give off tests, they score tests, but I what I really want to be is a psychologist. So I really want to focus on mental health disorders, for yeah, mental health disorders and treatment for those mental health disorders.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Before we move on to some other fun topics, what's any do you have any advice for people who are interested in psychology but also have a passion for art?
As my advisor said before, because I was like talking to her about how I like psychology as a career, but I'm also doing art on the side. I kind of tell her how I'm conflicted between both sides. My advisor told me before that they're more alike than I think. Psychology and art are more alike than I think. And after my 4 years of studying psychology, yeah, I do agree that they're more alike than I thought. Psychology is knowing more about yourself, knowing more about your behavior, your cognitions, how those affect others, and how those affect you, yourself, and your decisions in life. And that intricately ties with art because your art is an extension of you. So, understanding yourself, understanding your emotions will help you create the art that you desire. It will help you create the art that embodies you and your personality. I think they're just really alike. When I studied psychology, I learned more about myself, how I am, why I am how I am. That understanding of myself led me to appreciate myself more, which led me to be more confident of showing myself in my art. So yeah, I don't think they're that different. I don't think they will clash. Like unlike other programs that say aren't as creative in a sense. Psychology is very creative. It even explores the science behind creativity,
Mm-hmm.
like why people are more divergent thinkers or why people are more convergent thinkers. It's just understanding human nature, and art is an application, a window of that human nature. So I don't think they should clash. So if anybody wants to take art and psychology at the same time like me, then don't worry too much about it. I think that it's a great mesh of two interests. They don't really clash with one another. There's a huge overlap.
See, this is why she was a summa cum laude, guys. Oh
No.
my gosh, I love like listening like to your how you process or like how you view certain topics. I hope like any future psychology students listening would like be inspired by your thoughts and experiences. So before we end, I wanna like I have this segment for Creative Cosmos called In Your Orbit. This is where we talk about like what you're into nowadays besides art and like any other projects you're working on. So what's currently in your orbit, and you can also talk about your love for doll collecting. Like
Okay,
how did
okay.
that start? Like how many dolls? Well, how did that start first of all?
Oh, okay. How did that start? So when I started earning commissions, I when I started doing commissions, I started earning money, and I was like, what am I gonna do with my adult money? What are we gonna buy? We're gonna buy childhood stuff. So that's what I did. I There was like this one day we were like cleaning out the house. I dug up all my old Barbies, and they were all like dusty, and there you have cut hair. They all look like weird Barbies, and I was like, I'm going to fix you up. You guys are gonna be pretty again. And then I fixed them all up. I put them like on a table, and then I was like, hmm, I have a Barbie for all of the movies for like 3 consecutive years. I have like Mariposa, and I have Princess Rosella, and I can probably find the other ones that I don't have, especially the ones that I cried about when I was a child. The ones that my parents didn't want me to buy because I didn't have any grades out yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I usually get a Barbie if it's my birthday, if it's Christmas, or if I have like a straight A
uh
test kind of thing, if my grades
uh
came out. So I decided to look for all of the Barbies that I missed out on until I have like all of them across like 23 Barbie movies. I have 25 dolls. So that's a lot. So from Barbie and the Nutcracker until Barbie as the princess and the pop star, I have all of them. I have all of them.
wow.
Yeah, because I don't know, it just felt good for me to get the things that I wasn't able to as a child. So I wanted to like appease my childhood self, the young 5-year-old Jewel who cried in a store because her mom wouldn't buy her Princess Annika from Magic of Pegasus. Actually, that's the first Barbie doll that I bought out of my commission money, because I distinctly remember like crying in the toy store because my mom wouldn't buy me the doll.
Oh no.
So that's the first one I bought, and yeah, I'm happy I got that doll. When I held her for the very first time, I was like, "Wow, it's come full circle. You're finally mine." And yeah, I started making a list of what dolls I wanted to buy. Like I have some dolls from the 80s. They're like 40 years old now. It's amazing. I thank you eBay. Shout out to eBay. You're the
Shout out
best.
eBay.
And apart from that, apart from Barbie dolls, I also collect Disney limited edition dolls. They are large, like 16, 17-inch dolls that Disney creates inspired by their characters. And the designs are so intricate, like they're embroidered, and then I mean the patterns are embroidered and stuff. So I collected my very first two dolls, Snow Queen Elsa and Queen Anna from Frozen 2. They're like my very first Disney limited edition dolls, and now I have like, wait, let me count.
Okay, go
Okay,
go.
I have Elsa,
Mm-hmm.
Anna, I have Princess Kida, I have
Whoa.
Mulan, I have another Mulan, I have Alice in Wonderland, a set of two dolls. Okay, it is eight. It is eight.
Oh.
So, apart from wanting to collect dolls to appease my childhood self, I collect dolls as well because they're sort of an investment. I don't know. I try to convince myself that they're an investment because, for example, the limited edition dolls, I don't unbox them. I just keep them in a box. For instance, the Frozen dolls, there are only 8,000 of them made for Anna and 8,500 for Elsa. So I have one out of those 8,000 dolls, and I got it for like $129, I guess. But
Oh.
sometimes people sell them on eBay for like 200, three
Mm-hmm.
hundred or so. So yeah, I think it's an investment of a sort too, because the rarer the doll gets, the older it gets, the
Mm-hmm.
higher price it will be in the future if I will sell them. If I eventually sell them. I don't think I will be able to sell them.
Because you love them so much.
I love them so much. I think I would be very I think I would regret it so much if I sell them, because I don't know, I worked hard for those, and those are like
Mm-hmm.
the fruits of my art commissions.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was starting out with art commissions, I never would have thought that people would actually like want to commission me. So, well, the first thing I did with like my commission money, I bought dolls so I can like immortalize the moment that people believed in my art and believed in what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, whenever I look at my dolls, I think of my childhood, but also I think of what I've accomplished as a young adult, the
Mm-hmm.
belief that people have in me. Every doll is almost equivalent to a person who commissioned me for my art and trusted that I could bring their vision to life. Wow, I'm now realizing that each doll is a commission.
That's so cool. So how many do you have all in all?
Oh god, I can't count. Apart from my 25 Barbie movie dolls, I think I have like a few holiday Barbies.
So you said 25 Barbie movie dolls, and then you have the 8 from Disney. So that's like,
But I also have like say around like I have like 10 more Barbie dolls that aren't exactly from movies but are like my interests, because Barbie sometimes makes collaborations with brands, or it's a holiday doll, or it's like a birthday wishes doll. You know, the Barbie that you get for your birthday. And I have some of those. And I try to
mm.
buy anything that, you know, strikes my fancy. Pink big ball gown? Yeah, you're gonna be bought. Yeah, so I apart from that, I collect Funko Pops as well. I have most of the Frozen Funko Pops and most of the Barbie Funko Pops. I also try to collect art books, but only
Oh.
of things that I'm interested in, like Frozen, Disney Princess art books, and my favorite artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is what I collect. That's what I use my adult money for.
Big girl money. Yeah, I calculated it just from the ones you mentioned, and I got 43 dolls. And
Oh,
that's
that's a lot.
yeah,
Oh
that's
my god.
I guess you have more than that, I'm assuming, because that's only the ones that you mentioned from the off the top of your head. It's a
Yeah,
big
I guess
collection.
so. Because I'm also trying to collect like other lines. I'm getting into rainbow high dolls now as well,
Mhm.
because they have such cute fashions. It's so detailed. They have like real actual working pockets. Ah, pockets, so cool. I'm also trying to get into brats, because like I have friends from Art PH who like give makeovers to their Bratz dolls, and I want to do that too. So, but I haven't found a Bratz doll that I really, really, really like yet, or the ones that I really, really, really like are like very expensive, and I couldn't shell out the money for that yet.
Have you ever gotten into Sunny Angels? I know that was like a big thing, or maybe it still is a big thing in Art PH.
I tried to, but like I don't like having no control of what I get, because it's a blind
Oh,
box,
is that
right?
how it works? I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's a
that.
blind box. You like you buy a box and it's random. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Ah.
I don't know. I want the strawberry stuff, I guess.
Are there like anything else that's in your orbit, like anything that you're into nowadays, or any projects that you're working on that you can share?
Lately in music, I've been listening to Guts by Olivia Rodrigo like day and
Ooh.
night.
Oh, oh
It's
wait.
so good. It's so
What's
good.
your favorite track from Guts?
It's so good. Right now my favorite track is Pretty Isn't Pretty. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty Isn't Pretty and The Love Is Embarrassing. Those are my top two favorite tracks. But the track that made me cry is Teenage Dream. That's
Oh.
also something that I appreciate regarding Olivia Rodrigo. It's like she's able to write songs about girlhood and how difficult it is and how it's not black and white. And I don't know. I've never encountered an artist in which I resonate so much with their music in such a way that it makes me relive my teenage angst that I have repressed and suppressed all my life. Because, like, you know, as a girl, showing angst is not proper, it
Mm-hmm.
is not correct, it is not socially acceptable. But with Olivia's music, like it's now starting to become acceptable that you are allowed to be angry for things that happen to you. You are allowed to be angry at the beauty standards that you subscribe to. Yeah, I don't know. I also like Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift's music for the
Yes.
longest time, like ever since I was like 8 years old, probably. Both of them, they're just two of my most influential musical inspirations. Also, Carly Rae Jepsen. Them, they're my holy
The Holy
trinity.
Trinity.
Taylor, Carly, and Olivia. The mother, the daughter, and the Holy Spirit.
Love that. I love that so much.
Oh, can I ask like I can I like announce something like really
Oh yeah, yeah,
quickly?
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So like I have an upcoming zine that I'm working on actually. It's a Zelda zine. So it'll be a zine for charity and my work will be there and my work is Princess Zelda in a Filipiniana attire, which is really cool. Molding meshing together my interests for Zelda and my interests for Filipino fashion. So isn't that cool? Yeah. And also I'll be at Patrons of the Arts on January, which is a very long time, but I'm gonna say it out loud now because I want to prepare for that con. I have so much time to prepare for that con now that I'm not accepted to any of the events this year. So yeah, hope you'll see me there. And I'll try to have a shop opening by the end of the year. Yay, I'll try.
Yay. What's
Yeah.
the name of the Zelda zine? What's the full name?
It's called a Hyrule Fashion Anthology. You can check them out on Twitter at Hyrule Fashion.
Well, thank you so much, Jewel, for being on Creative Cosmos and for sharing your journey and your ups and downs about psychology, art, and creativity, and also like femininity and beauty. And so, yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you again. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope all of you listeners learned something.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, too. Bye.